Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are doing a workshop today all around redox signaling molecules, and our expert Laura is here. Thank you so much for joining us. Richard, Richard is new to redox, so we're going to be chatting with him. And we also have some participants on the Zoom call. So we are very excited to bring all this information and knowledge to you. We're going to start with a brief video. And it will give an overview about what redox signaling molecules are, how they can benefit us.
My name is Alan Noble and welcome to RailRedoxResults.com. On this website, you have access to lots of videos of real people sharing real results that they've experienced using Asea's advanced redox signaling technology. You can simply browse through the videos or pick a particular subject that is important to you. However, if this is your first introduction to Asea, then allow me to give you a brief overview so you can better understand why people are experiencing such amazing results. Asea Redox represents a cutting-edge health and anti-aging technology, a new category in science that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. A technology that many experts are calling the single greatest health science breakthrough of our lifetime. A great place to start is to get clear on what Asea Redox is not. It is not a vitamin, a mineral, antioxidant, exotic juice, essential oil, or CBD oil. In fact, this technology goes beyond nutrition and ingredients, and yet can impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, Asea Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. To grasp this breakthrough, you must understand that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells pass tremendous amounts of important information throughout the body. Any breakdown in this communication, in this signaling, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. A simple example, your home goes on fire and you call the fire department. They have the fire truck, firefighters, fire hose, everything they need to put out the fire. However, if you don't have a good cell signal, they don't get the message and your home goes up in flames. Well, it's the same in your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. Asea Redox is the world's first redox signaling supplement that harnesses the power of the same redox signaling molecules that your body uses for this critical signaling process. This astonishing technology with 2 delivery systems, the Asea Redox drink and the topical gel, Renew 28, has been validated by third-party independent science, and thanks to multiple patents, there is nothing else like it in the world. In a recent independent 8-week study with Torre Laboratories, a leading genetic research lab, it was found that drinking Asea Redox could increase important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular and digestive health, as well as hormone balance. So at this point, let's take a listen to what health and medical professionals are saying about Asea's redox signaling technology.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
Asea actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with Asea is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient. They found a way to stabilize it outside the body. You can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries, but now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with Asea simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century, and maybe even the discovery of penicillin, because your body is a redox signaling program. And to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
So as you can hear, Asea Redox truly is being hailed as the most significant health science breakthrough of our lifetime. And it's not just health. Casual athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a recent university study, mice drinking Asea for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts as their bodies started to burn more fat as fuel. And I'm sure you've heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, this same technology, when applied to the skin, results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging, all while using the body's natural renewal processes. I want to thank you for taking some time and watching this brief overview. I would now encourage you to explore some of the other videos featuring people that I've had the pleasure of interviewing over the last year or so. Real people sharing real redox results. This is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
Hey, that's a great video.
It's a great video.
So we're going to start with Laura, and she's going to give us an overview and talk about her experience that she's had.
Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Laura Zentmeyer. People always ask me how and why did I find this? Back in 2016, I had a lot of health challenges, and it got to the point that my daily routine was wake up, get the kids off to school, and then go on a quest to try to find someone who could help me feel better. And so every Tuesday, that was acupuncture day. Every Wednesday, that was cranial sacral and foot reflexology. I would see so many doctors, so many physical therapists, massage therapists. I just wanted to be a better mom. I wanted to not be a bystander in watching my kids grow up. I wanted to be present with them and get to play with them. And luckily, one of my doctors said, hey, I got this stuff and it's about to expire and I don't like how it tastes and I don't know if it even works. So that was his endorsement. But he said, something's telling me that you should try it. And one of his best friend's wife, who is this lovely person, but can be a little bossy at times, she was just like, hey, you need this and all of your patients need this. And so he really didn't know what it was, but he was just like, yeah, I think Laura should try it. And it made me feel better. Not everybody feels something right away, but I did. So I felt like I had more energy and I slept better. And I thought I was a nicer mom to my kids. It was really fun to be a mom when I was on this. And I thought that's good enough. I love this. I want to be on this forever, but even better things happen. So I used to have an allergy of all things to chocolate. And that not only impacted my life, it impacted the community because I was so allergic. If somebody was having a cookie somewhere, my throat would close up just from the smell of it being in the air. So there was a sign up at the beauty salon saying, Florence Etmeyer is in the building, no chocolate. Because one time I practically became unconscious when I was getting my hair cut because a nice person brought muffins in. And I hate this part. I was the PTA president of my kids' school. 300 kids could not have chocolate. It was all my fault. The whole town was impacted from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. They couldn't have chocolate because one time I had walked into the school and I had an anaphylactic reaction, and the kind principal said, okay, that's it. There's a ban on chocolate. So I know I didn't outgrow this allergy because I had an anaphylactic reaction in January, got introduced to this in February of 2016. March, it was Easter time, and I went into Walmart. Normally my radar is really good, and I would stay away from the candy section because you can kind of smell the chocolate through the wrappers, but they tricked me, and they had these chocolate Easter bunnies out and about in the aisles, and all of a sudden I'm face to face with this chocolate bunny, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what's going on? I'm still breathing. I'm not polka dotted. My tongue isn't fat. And I just kind of stood there for a few minutes in Walmart trying to process this. I leaned over and I smelled the bunny and I was still okay. And that was the first time I ever bought chocolate for my kids. And then we all got a little bit fat. And we would go out to restaurants and I'd say, get every single dessert on the menu, have all 7 desserts. And so that was great. We were happy. And then something even better happened. I had a challenge, and with Asea, we don't make any claims that we treat or cure any medical conditions. So I'm going to just speak a little cryptically, and I bet you can figure out what I had, but I had a skin condition that was dangerous. It was scary. I would get these random moles. They would be big. The borders would be irregular. There were many different colors in them. And I would go to the hospital every 3 months for surgery. Every 3 months I would show up and they would take chunks of my body out. And it would be big chunks because they would have to get margins. They would have to go wide. They would have to go deep. So, you know, I should be covered head to toe in scars. And 2 months after I started this product, I went in thinking it's time for surgery. And they couldn't find anything to biopsy. And they called in a doctor from the hallway. And they're like, we need another pair of eyeballs because there's got to be something on her. And I've been good ever since. So that was 8 years ago. And now when I go, you know, I don't have to go every 3 months. I go once a year for a skin check. I'm never scared. To me, it's a fun reunion with people who used to cut into me. But then there are the new people who look at my folder and they're like, you've had so many surgeries, where are your scars? And I would challenge you guys to try to find a scar on me because it just heals your cells. It empowers your cells to work better. So again, we don't make any claims that this is a cure or treatment, but it empowers your cells to work better and heal faster. And every single health challenge involves cells. And then something else happened. I had been on thyroid medicine for 29 years. After I started this, everything got balanced out. I'm on 0 medication now. I'm 55. And so what this is this isn't just a supplement. It says that it's a supplement. It's not. It's a bioreplenishment. A supplement is something technically that your body doesn't make, like a vitamin or something, and that you take it and it helps you. This is already in your body. So this is better than all natural. Natural is like blueberries, lemons. This is native to your cells. Your mitochondria, they're making it every single second of the day. You could go for maybe 3 weeks without food and maybe 3 days without water and maybe 3 minutes without oxygen. You couldn't last 3 seconds without your redox signaling molecules. So your mitochondria are making them. But as you get older, you make less and less and less and less. So you have a bunch of them when you're tiny. And then once you get into your 20s, you're making about 10% less every single decade that you age. So by the time that you're 70, you're really depleted of this. And this, all it is, it replenishes what should be in your body. So fundamental in the healing process. And that explains why older people in general have more health challenges or take longer to recover than younger people because they just don't have as much of this. And Some people might look at the ingredients and be like, I don't know about this, because the ingredients simply say water and there's a tiny bit of salt. So they're like, this is expensive salt water. This is saline solution. It's not. So we had a medical atomic physicist, Gary Samuelson. There's only 9 people in the world who have Gary's credentials. He spent a whole year with a team of doctors figuring out, how do you break apart salt water? And he wanted to start with salt water because that's what your mitochondria get to play with. Your body's about 70% salt water, and he wanted the same building materials that your mitochondria have access to. So take salt water, figures out how do you break those molecules apart. Then you have the atoms of the hydrogen and oxygen from the water and the sodium and the chloride from the salt. Rearrange those atoms and turn them into what your mitochondria naturally makes. So it does start off as water and a tiny bit of salt, and gets transformed. There's 13 patents involved and over hundreds of thousands of trade secrets. I tell people it's kind of like how diamonds and the graphite in pencils, they're both 100% carbon atoms, but the way the atoms are arranged, it yields a different product. And the way it works is this is essentially the communication system for your cells. So many health challenges are just because there's a flaw in the communication system. So, for example, cancer, not that we are making any claims, but it's just a very lonely cell that can't, it's not, the definition of cancer, it's a cell that doesn't have redox signaling molecules in it. It can't tell the neighbors like, hey, I need some help here. But it amplifies and it clarifies the signals between and within the cells. Same thing like autoimmune disorders. Oh my gosh, it's just the cells, they're not interpreting signals properly, so they're attacking each other. So it seems as though so many health challenges, they're just a choice given that this technology exists. And so this amplifies and clarifies the signals between and within the cells. They're talking to each other properly. They can detect, repair, replace damaged cells. It boosts antioxidants. So for example, glutathione is a really good one. The efficacy of that goes up by more than 800%. There's another one called superoxide dismutase that goes up, the efficacy of that goes up by more than 500%. So all that means is your immune system is fortified. You don't have to be worried about catching germs so much. And then what is so exciting to me is it turns on genes for your cardiac system, your immune system, your inflammatory system, your digestive system, and your hormone modulation. So it just empowers your cells to work better and heal faster, and every health challenge involves cells. So this is our flagship product. This is the most magical thing that we have, but then we have another version of it. This is a drink. It heals you on a systemic level, and it heals you from the inside out. This is the exact same stuff with an agent in it that makes it into a thicker, more concentrated version. So this heals you from the outside in. This is topical. This works within minutes. So if somebody is hurting, hello, Richard. You just put it on, you just rub it on, and it really should feel better within minutes. And then I tell people, you see how that heals you from the outside in. Imagine healing from the inside out. Imagine this working on your kidneys and your liver and your brain and your heart. But it might just take a little bit longer for you to notice the benefits with this. Usually, people feel more energy, they're sleeping better, they're just in a better mood, they're thinking more clearly. And if they're not within 3 days, then I tell them, have some more. You can never have too much of this. I will drink an entire bottle a day because for me, I have a deep understanding of the science, and to me, this is the best investment. I never want to be the way I used to be. I love being healthy. What else was I gonna say? I don't know. Should I talk about any of this stuff, or
I kind of
do you want to try? Do you want to try some of this?
No, how many, you said you would drink a full bottle. How many would start out?
So-
I'll tell you that's what you're.
Yeah. On the back of the bottle, it suggests having 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces later. That's not because we at Asea think that that's the most ideal dosage. More is always going to work better than less. People who are over the age of 50, generally their sweet spot is around 8 ounces because they're older. They're just not making as much of this naturally. So you might want some more. Or if somebody has a really serious health issue, they might want a whole bunch, but then this doesn't just help you cope, it's repairing your cells. So then as you get better, then you can taper down. But the reason that this is, it says 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces later is because we're in 33 different countries. We had to get people from 33 different official, organizations and companies to agree on amount. And so if there's some grumpy person somewhere in the world who's just like, no, I really want it to be 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces later, like, okay, fine, we just want to get it out there, get it to the people.
And one thing to say too is it is a nice landing place to start, because one of the things this does as well is it detoxes the body, right?
It does. And that I could tell stories of how we've gotten mercury out of people and lead out of people. One woman was like, oh, there's ammonia in here. I'm like, there is no ammonia in there. But she grew up on a farm around pesticides. That toxin, the ammonia, was coming out of her just from her very first dose.
Must have been on a chicken farm.
Yeah.
And we
Chicken
even
pie.
got Agent Orange. There was somebody who had that. And so he's carrying that around with him for decades. Not that we cure or treat anything, but sludge was coming out of him, grayish brown. It wasn't orange, it was grayish brown. And he got his life back. So yes, this pulls toxins out. You might feel a little yucky in the beginning. If you notice any change at all, that's a good thing, even if you're feeling tired or, like, ugh. It's because it's pulling out the toxins, but even though it might not feel great to be pulling those toxins out, it's so fundamental in the healing process. So it's a beautiful thing. Yes.
Beautiful.
What would be the effect if somebody drank a whole bottle right off?
Well, it depends if they have toxins. So they might be sitting on the toilet for a little while if they
So
did.
that would be the side effect that you know of.
Maybe
Right.
if they had toxins. For most people, I say that it happens to maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5%. But I always just want to put it out there because I don't want anybody to be scared.
Right.
But most people are just like Shazam and they're ready to go, take on the world. I do tell people, so that this says 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces later. I advise that people try just 4 ounces in the morning and see how it goes throughout the day. Because I did have a phone call from someone at 11 o'clock at night where they were just like, I'm awake, I'm cleaning my garage, and it's all your fault because I have so much energy. So just play with it. You can never have too much. More is always better, but
Yeah.
if a little bit works.
So there's no permanent or extreme danger of overdosing.
There's zero danger.
Okay,
There's
that's fine.
450 studies done. There is zero toxicity in this. It can't interfere with any medication that you're taking. It belongs in your body.
You said the ingredients were water and salt.
Water and a tiny bit of salt. And if people are worried about their sodium intake, if you had 3 big carrots, that's the equivalent. How much salt is in those 3 carrots is what you would find in 4 ounces of the Asea. And people who are generally concerned about their sodium intake, it's because they might have a cardiac issue. Well, one of the genes that turns on supports the cardiac system. So it's really a good thing to have this.
Maybe I missed it, but ingredients, water and salt.
Water and salt for this. And then for this, there is another, it's like a healthy clay that just gets it into the gel matrix that makes it thicker.
But that there,
Water and salt that's been transformed into redox signaling molecules. So
okay, so the water has been altered.
it's been altered.
That's what I'm getting.
Imagine if you buy a cake, the ingredients on it, it's not going to say cake, even though it's a cake. It's going to say flour and water and
Right.
sugar. Right. And then it goes through a baking process and it's transformed. So this is transformed into what your mitochondria make, the redox signaling molecules.
I know some people that are doing some ozone purification with water,
Uh-huh.
and that's all they drink.
Can't really speak to that. So that is
It's a different thing, but
It's a different thing. It's, I don't know enough to
Right.
really speak in an
what you're
educated
telling me
way.
there, that the molecules in the water have been altered through a system you guys have developed.
Yeah,
And the salt is just helps it. Everybody needs salt, everybody needs water.
Well, it's the native material of our cells. Our cells are made of
yeah,
salt water, and so that salt water is put through an electrolysis process where all of the molecules are changed to create the redox, and the molecules become smaller so that they're able to be absorbed in our cells.
exactly.
Because that's a huge part of it, to be
Yeah.
able to break that, go through that barrier.
Yeah, so it's not salt water. There is a little bit of salt in it. You have to have salt because that's how the electrons can be exchanged. And that's how your cells communicate. So it's not salt water.
No, I understand all that because
Yeah.
I just did a study on the taking of salt and water. You can drink as much water as you want all day long. But if it's not getting into the cells and into salt,
Yeah.
Celtic salt is what they're talking about, will open that passage so that the water gets through the molecules and gets in you. And it just makes sense because we can't live without salt and the body doesn't produce salt.
Mhm.
We rely on the earth to survive. And a lot of people take it all for granted, like, oh, don't eat too much salt. Salt's not bad. It's processed salt.
Yeah.
And I'm a little leery on sea salt because I've seen the process. There's big bogs and they open the ocean, they flood this field, close the bog, and they let it dehydrate and go in with big machinery and scoop it up and then process it and bleach it. And this is table salt. This is the stuff you put on, you see it in any restaurant, table salt. It's been altered, so
Yeah, there's a lot of things. That's why it's so good to be knowledgeable about what we're putting into our bodies.
Yeah, and people, they want to know, well, how is it different from all of these other supplements? Most supplements that you take, they're generally a nutritional product and they're fabulous. You need good nutrition. It's paramount for good health. It's the building materials for your cells. So if you think of building a house, you need materials for your roof and your bathrooms and your kitchen and whatever. And that's what the nutrition does. But then you need the nice people to show up and do the labor. So this will work synergistically with any other good choices that you're making.
And I saw that happen actually when I started taking Asea. I was seeing a nutritionist, and over time she's tested my body. And when I increased my dose, which was where my happy place was, I started to see that my supplements were going down. So my body was acting more efficient, and whatever balancing was happening. And so it was neat to see how in real time, like something I was putting into my body, I didn't need as much of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another analogy I like to use is imagine you have a great car and you want to put the best fuel in it. So that's like your food. But if the engine doesn't work, if you don't have the spark plugs, it doesn't matter what fuel you put in. You have to have the most foundational thing working. So that's the redox signaling molecules. The redox signaling molecules are even more fundamental than stem cells. Your body's making stem cells. The redox signaling molecules give the directions to the stem cells. Like you're going to go be a brain cell. You're going to go be a heart cell. So this is even more foundational.
Amazing. So do you want to, Richard, do you have more questions?
yeah, I got tons of questions. But
Okay, go ahead.
no.
I
I don't want to mislead what you're going here. So
I kind of want to do, well, no, whatever questions you have, I want to also show him the gel
Okay.
on something that.
So you said that your leg is
and the thing is that it's on the back right in here on my knee.
Are you
And
able
these
to?
pants don't come all the way up. I
So
don't want to drop my drawers in front of the audience. So
Why don't you give him
Understood.
some gel and you can go back?
or what's even crazier is
I lay down on the couch and you massage my back and my leg. That'd be great.
well, that's an idea, but what I'm thinking is we can give you some gel, and if you just apply it on your neck where your carotid arteries are, that's a place that it absorbs the redox signaling molecules really well, and then it gets distributed to where it needs to go. So I'm thinking, even if we just put it on your neck, which we have access to,
Yeah, I'm not
I
wearing a
think-
turtleneck today.
yeah, I think that your knee would
The
feel
other
better.
thing, I got a twitching eye.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't been leaking. It twitches. And I don't know what it was. They told me it was a muscle in the back of my neck that controls that nerve up through here. I went and had a massage on that. It felt good, but it still twitches. Not a lot of different things, except somebody said, go to my doctor. Like, it's not my eye, it's a nerve that's fluttering. So
So basically our standard answer is, does that involve a cell? Are cells involved in, and so it can't hurt you. It'll probably help you. You can take the spray and you can spray it straight into your eyes. It feels so good. I've got all sorts of eyeball testimonies. One woman, she'd been in the hospital for a while and they diagnosed her. Sorry, we're being recorded, so I'm not going to say what the name of it is, but they're like, just get used to it. There's no cure. It's not hurting you. She basically was seeing a laser show in her head. Everywhere she looked, there were dancing red dots. And they said that it's not hurting you. Just get used to the laser show and deal with it. And she called me up and she just wanted to buy 2 bottles. And I know this woman, and I was just like, I know she's just going to have tiny, tiny doses. I really don't know if this is going to do much good for her at all. But I drove to her home because I didn't want her to have to wait for it to ship from Utah. And I sold her the 2 bottles at my cost. And then something that I tell people don't do, I did. I gave her some free product. When you give away free product frequently, they don't see a value to it. So many times they won't even use it. But I gave her a bottle and I said, this I'm going to give to you for free, but you have to play by my rules. I want you to drink the entire bottle tonight. And her eyes got big and she looked scared. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to frighten you, but can you just please follow your intuition and drink as much as you're guided to drink? And she drank half a bottle and the very next day she was fine. And they said that that was incurable.
That's so amazing. I just want to share that same thing happened to me. Like how I was introduced was because you're my friend. We were having breakfast. I was having issues with my wrists. I couldn't sleep without wearing braces. My hands were falling asleep. It was inflammation in my body. So you put some gel on me. I started using it. It went away. I also had an issue with a tattoo. There was an issue with lead poisoning in my foot. It was swollen. It wasn't healing from plantar fasciitis. That is no longer happening in my foot, and my foot's back to normal. So yay. But one of the most amazing things when we went to headquarters, we were there. There were shots of Asea everywhere. I had never drank a full bottle before. Throughout my 2 days there, I did, and I had an injury of my left scapula, falling in a walk-in in a restaurant. I don't know, probably impacted me for 10 years of my life. All of a sudden, like a day or 2 later, I'm like, hold on a minute. Yeah. I don't have that pain or that tension.
Yeah.
So I love hearing these stories of like flooding the system and like energizing and like what happens. Like I didn't do that intentionally. It just happened. So that's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check in with our guests on line.
Okay.
Curious if they have any questions.
And then we could also touch upon these other products, but really the Asea, that's the most amazing one we have, I think.
So ladies, if you have questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. And the lovely Laura is going to address them. Thank you for being here.
Let's do a little balance test. While they put questions in the chat,
Yeah.
do you want to do a little balance test with Richard and also see if we can make his knee feel better?
I would love to do that. Sarah, we're going to address your question right after we do this muscle and demonstration with Richard. Okay.
So, Richard, will you please stand up?
Oh,
Okay. And will you please stick out your arm?
fine.
I don't care. Is it okay if I push down? It's
Yep.
not gonna hurt your shoulder? All right, you look really strong, so I'm not sure if I can even do this, but I'm gonna push down and see if I can make it go down. Don't let me, just be really strong. Okay, great. And let me do it one more time because people say,
It's got the knee.
let's do it again. Maybe you'll be stronger the second time. People are just like, oh, there's muscle memory, and we'll just show that this is consistent. Okay, great. And then can you please go like this? Is it okay with you if I go up?
Yep.
So don't let your arms go up and don't go backwards. Just stay there. Okay. Okay, Let's try it again. Don't let your arms go up and don't go backwards. Okay, fantastic. Now let's take some gel. You have to shake it up, otherwise it just sort of splats out all watery. So just go shake, shake, and it gets into the gel matrix. And stick out your hand. I'm gonna give you a big old gabagoo and put it on your carotid arteries. Put it wherever you think you want to put it.
And when you're applying it, Richard,
Stand
you
and
don't,
then go.
yeah,
Okay.
you can put it around your eye if you want, put it on
Yeah,
your
put it around
face.
your eye.
It's really great.
Don't put it
On the
in your
face.
eye. So you can put the drink straight in your eye, but don't put the gel in the eye just because there's a little bit of clay in there.
It's really
Oh, and I
great.
should have said, what was your pain level with your knee? I wish I had you do a squat also before, but oh well.
That's a lot of,
Yeah,
You can rub it on your arms wherever.
you can,
anywhere.
anyway, let it absorb.
It's really, yeah. Do you remember your pain level before? Or
Well-
discomfort?
Discomfort level, it's not a lot of pain. But just standing up,
Yeah,
it hurt because it was like that muscle that's your hamstring muscle
Yeah.
trying to put it up. That hurts. Not pain, but it's
okay,
difficult.
yeah.
But as far as squatting, I can squat. I have a torn meniscus, which I had operated on. I thought was going to fix it. Anybody's got torn meniscus surgery, they don't fix it. They go in and take out the piece that's torn to relieve the pain. And everybody's meniscus over time gets shorter and shorter. And I just took some life out of that knee. But it did relieve the pain. And slowly that pain is coming back. So if I squat down, I can feel that little twinge.
So what if Richard has a seat again and sees how he feels getting up? Because that would be
Yeah.
a basis for that experience. Of what
Yeah,
he
I'm
looks
greased
like.
up here. You want me to have a seat? And they took the chair away from me. Yeah. Where'd the seat go?
Okay. So now stand back up. Is it any easier?
That felt better.
Okay, and
I don't want to say that's a miracle, but
yeah,
you saw me get up a minute ago.
you were groaning
And
the
that was
first time.
normal.
Yeah.
Try that again. I don't.
Okay. Okay, stick out your arm. Okay. You go stronger. And do you see my arm is shaking a bit? Okay, and then go like this. And your arms are not going up and your toes are on the ground. You didn't go backwards.
Do you feel stronger in your body?
Do you feel a little more balanced?
Give it all your might.
Before your arms go way up.
Keep an eye on my eye to see if it
Okay.
twitches, because it hasn't.
Yeah, I saw
Well,
it twitching when we were talking
It did.
originally.
That's why I said
No.
winking at you.
Yeah.
It was just a little.
Well, we'll see.
Well, we'll see how Richard I does.
Thank
All right,
you.
so,
All right, so go ahead and take a seat.
all right.
And do we have a question in the Zoom?
We do.
Okay.
I mean, I can still feel the deep muscle there.
I had 5 knee operations before I found Asea, and I wanted more because I was in so much pain. I don't think about having this surgery at all now. There's still some things like high impact stuff is still kind of hard for me, but I can play with my kids. I can give people
Yeah.
piggyback rides.
Yeah.
I don't want surgery now.
The same thing happened with my mom. She had knee pain, and then after using Asea, she no longer has knee pain. So we're gonna see how you feel, and we also can apply it again, because one thing about injuries that are persistent, we say apply it 3 times within 5 minutes, and usually people see results at that point. I know we're not putting it right on your knee, but it's still getting through that bloodstream.
I'm really concentrating on my trimmer here.
Okay.
It's not coming back.
Great. We'll see how your eye fares.
I mean,
through it.
it's not normal for to go away, but then it comes back, and I noticed when I was here, and I relate it, is it nerves? Is it nervous because the film's running? Is it nervous because different? I go to a lot of meetings, I have to give a lot of speeches. And last year, I was set with this side away from more of the audience because of that twitching. So. And now we're talking about concentrating, it's not doing it, so. It's interesting.
Love it.
It all involves cells.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Look how fast you did that.
I know. I can see how fast you're getting up now.
It's still a little,
Yeah, that's okay.
is a big difference, not 100%. But then again, this is gonna take a while to get down to here.
It's pretty.
I mean, if I dropped my pants and
quickly.
rubbed it there, it probably would have done me like that. I'm just saying.
It does work very, very quickly because all it is the exchange of electrons. And if you think of flipping a switch on a light, you know, it's immediate. So your body, if you were gonna touch a hot stove by accident, you would take
What
your hand.
about neuropathy?
About what?
Neuropathy, the nerves in your feet go numb.
Oh,
I don't have it, my brother does. And he's on the urge of taking pills for
He
it. And he
should.
read the side effects and he said, I don't want to get those
right.
pills.
Not that we make any claims to cure or treat, but we have so many clients who don't deal with that issue. And what was described to me was this person, she said it usually happened in her sleep was the worst, and it would feel like the bottom of her legs were on fire. She would put some of this on, and within seconds she equated it to putting a wet blanket on top of a fire. It just took the
Soothes it right
discomfort right away, and she could sleep through the night.
So my dad had, I think it's the same thing. He couldn't go outside in the winter because he was experiencing extreme pain in his hands all of a sudden after something happened a few years ago. And so my dad is not really the type to be proactive about himself. So I gave him a bunch of Asea and went away.
No one loves cells.
Our lovely guest, Sarah, has a question. She is wondering about nausea and pregnancy.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so nausea, that is a result of like a hormone imbalance. You got all these hormones happening, right? With when you're pregnant. And we have someone in our Asea family, Donovan Dominguez. She is amazing. She is a retired midwife. She's delivered about 1,000 babies, and she did a little test. She's so cute. She had spreadsheets, and she would try to get all of pregnant moms on this, but some people were skeptical and they're like, no, thank you. And I believe the results were the moms who took this, they would deliver about 3 times faster than a regular birth. The APGAR scores would be fantastic. The health of the placentas, they would just come out and the nurses and doctors would be like, you must have just been such a health nut during your whole 9 months and only eaten great food. And people were like, no, not really. But the placentas for the other moms who didn't take it, sometimes they would come out all stringy and just like, ooh. So those were differences. And then she also said that there was a little fetus who had a tumor in its brain. And she got the mom to start taking this. And when it was time for the next sonogram, the tumor was gone. So those are my Donovan Dominguez stories. And you can see her on realredoxresults.com. She's video number 13. She has her own amazing story, and she has made a full recovery from, we'll call it abnormal cells. That was very advanced. She's perfect now. But anyway, this will help. It modulates your hormones to be the way that they're supposed to be. I see there is the little twitch. Do you want some more?
Yeah, I think Richard's ready for another dose.
Okay, here. Just take the tube and put however much on wherever you want.
All right, Sarah, did that feel like Laura answered your question? Nice. Oh, great. Yeah, we did send you that interview. Yeah, I always use it on cuts. So Sarah's saying that she used the gel on her daughter's skin knees this morning. It's amazing for
Mhm.
wounds. And
Thank you. If you go to the website discoverredox.com and you click on Renew 28 and Renew Advanced, you can scroll down, you can see all these amazing before and after photos. That's a great website. It talks about the gene study, has all these doctors and scientists talking about it. If you want to just hear testimonies, then realredoxresults.com. That's a good website to go to. And the password is redox, all lowercase REDOX.
and if there's something that you're wondering about, like a certain condition, you can go to PubMed or Google Scholar.
Yeah, people are like, is it good for this? Is it good for that? And I just say, is a cell involved? But if you go, because we're not allowed to make claims, I love it when other scientists are loud and proud about it. If you go to PubMed.gov, which is where doctors and scientists will publish their double-blind placebo-controlled studies, you type in redox, there's hundreds of thousands of articles. And if you say you want to know about redox and Parkinson's or anything, lots of stuff comes up. And same thing with Google Scholar, not Google. Google is a search engine. Google Scholar is a research engine. So go in there and type in redox and whatever condition you're looking for. There's going to be thousands. This is the fastest field of science that's growing right now. It's being taught in med schools. This is the textbook that they use in med schools now. I just got this one on Amazon. It's called One Disease, Redox and Balance. And all these little dots here, they have some names of specific horrible health conditions that nobody would want. They're not ambassadors of ASEA, so they can say this, but basically the premise is just, it's all in the title. There's an imbalance of reductants and oxidants, and the ASEA that balances everything out again. And then here is a great one written by Dr. Lee Osler. He has a few books out. I love this one, and in the back is an appendix, and there's 383 scientific articles that he references. So if anybody says, is there any science to this? Well, yes, and our company is not on trial. The research is there. And then I love this one too. In that 7-minute video, you saw a little clip of Anne-Louise Gittleman. She is a top nutritionist in America. She's got 37 bestsellers on the New York Times list, and this is one of them. It specifically mentions ASEA, and she says that she is committed to rewriting every single one of the books to talk about ASEA because she calls it a game changer. So the research is there. Okay. Do we want to talk about any of this, or do we just want to focus on?
Let's see how we're doing for time. We're rounding out the hour right now, Laura, so we might be good. There are a lot of other products to talk about that we have in the repertoire.
Well, we have cell performance products. I won't go into the ingredients, but these are little powders. They are not redox signaling molecules. They work synergistically with the redox. We say they're powered by redox, which means that they do follow the principles of more abundant gene expression and cytoprotection. Cyto is a fancy word for cell. So it protects your cells. It helps your cells adapt and adjust. And these are digested. These are absorbed. These go to targeted areas. This goes everywhere. This one is going to help your energy. This one's going to help your mood and your sleep. This one's going to help you think better, remember better, learn better. This one's going to be great for collagen support. And so it's great for your hair, your nails, your skin. And then we have the nutritional line. So we have vitamins that come from whole foods. There's a fermentation process, so you actually absorb the food rather than having it pass through you. This one helps you live younger, longer. It's got like 5 medicinal mushrooms in it. It has French cantaloupe, which Cindy Crawford based her whole Meaningful Beauty line on with. It's got that. We got probiotics, 16 probiotics mixed with 3 prebiotics that feed the probiotics, help them do their job better, and slippery elm will coat your gut to make it just a happy little biome down there. And then fish oil that is processed within hours of catching the fish. There's an amazing skincare line. Let me just talk about the mask.
Yeah.
The mask this is the gel, the Renew 28, along with some bentonite clay. Bentonite clay, it comes from volcanic ash in Montana. And the clay, it's negatively charged. The icky stuff in your face, the impurities, has a positive charge. This pulls it out like a magnet. And it's just the only mask in the world that has redox signaling molecules in it. It is amazing. My good friend Jerry White, he did a fun little experiment where he did half of his face with the mask. People actually thought he had a stroke that day because the untreated side was so saggy. But anyway, great products. There's some great informational videos. If you go to discoverredox.com, you can get more information on all of that stuff.
And I just want to highlight something too, because people have used this on their legs,
On like varicose
varicose
veins,
veins.
all sorts of things, bug bites.
Yeah.
You know, people are always like, this is the best in the world for bug bites. I'm like, oh my gosh, it does so much more than that, but okay.
The tubes there. No, the add to your water,
Oh, the
Oh, the little packets of,
Packets.
yes,
you add those to your water. That's a powder form.
yes, you do.
These are pill or powder,
These are all capsules.
so they're all capsules.
These you can mix with anything. Please don't mix this with anything. Especially keep it away from metal. If you, I've saved so many dogs, cats, horses, rabbits, seagull this weekend.
she saved a seagull in the ocean.
I did.
Oh
And
my gosh.
You
She
give me a
did.
drink.
She
There you
brought
go
him back.
again.
so okay, it's a 2-minute story. So we're walking on the beach in New Jersey. Off in the distance, we see a lump. My husband thinks it's garbage. I feel drawn to it. I walk towards it. Then my husband's like, it's dead. And it did look dead, but it wasn't. It blinked at me. So I picked it up. It didn't have the strength to like even lift its head. I carried it a mile to the hotel room, got a lot of funny looks from people. Went to the hotel room, put some of this in a glass, and I just kind of I got some in its beak. I was just hoping I could get it in a little crevice. And then within minutes, it was able to lift its head and it drank it independently. And then I took the gel and I rubbed it on the seagull's feet and legs where there weren't feathers. So because just like you put it on your neck, I knew it was going to get absorbed. Thing starts walking around our hotel room. And then I still have every intention of driving it 300 miles back to New Hampshire. 7-hour ride with the seagull is what I was anticipating. But it started flapping its wings while we were driving. We were like, well, it really would be convenient if we could release it. We were on our way to like buy some tuna fish and cat food for it. But we parked, we opened up the door, and I've sent Beth the video. It flies away and it just keeps flying and flying. We never saw it land. It just flew back to the beach, I think.
Amazing.
And that was only within 2 hours. And I really did think that it probably was going to die. I just wanted it to die a more comfortable and, loving experience rather than being in a thunderstorm on the beach.
That's incredible.
It worked.
I love that story.
And animals don't know anything about placebos.
Yeah, I've used it with my dogs. All right, ladies. Ladies, do you have any more questions for Laura before we wrap this beautiful workshop up? Okay, Sarah says no. Do you have a question?
Do I have any questions? Why hadn't twitched since the second application? Let me stand up. That was better than the first time.
No, if you've had a problem for a while, it can
Oh,
take-
it's
it
been
can
for a
take-
while
it
and
can take a while to get better, but
And then-
usually you do.
I didn't expect a miracle cure like that, but
Sometimes
the
it
eye is
happens.
interesting because when I first did it, it just kind of cleared up and it was pretty consistent before that. And I just put that second application on and
Ta-da.
good for now,
Yay.
so.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all very much
Yes.
for joining us. Richard, thank you for being our
Nice
lovely
meeting
guest.
Yes, thank you so much for coming, Richard.
All right. We appreciate your time. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you
Give
so
me
much.
tips if you have questions.
Please do. Please write to us if you have questions or have anything we can assist you with. Have a beautiful day.